It's 8:58, so we'll give it a little more time.
Yeah.
I'm expecting people here that who have never been to this meeting before. And I want them to have the opportunity to introduce themselves and kind of give a little background as to, what their interest is in transportation. So we will all be doing a little bit of introductions. So we'll keep ourselves quick, but those folks that are new, I think it'll be good for them to get to know who we are and um, they're interested in what we're doing. So, and this also gives
Yeah,
us
that's great.
it gives us an opportunity to kind of talk a little bit too about the focus groups that we're going to be putting together for the Empowering Small Minnesota Communities um, program.
Yeah, this some of the folks on this call, they could be part of um the one focus group.
Yep,
And if there are enough, and say we have, you know, 25 people that want to do it, we can have more than one focus group for that particular audience.
absolutely.
So that'd be great.
Yeah,
Morning, Nicole.
Good morning. How are you guys?
good, good.
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 Always a little nervous before these meetings. I'm always glad
Uh,
they're done. They're good, but I just get a little anxious.
Well, there's a lot to cover. That's why
Yeah.
it usually goes really smooth, Karen. So
Mm.
yeah, it'll be great.
I'm happy you guys are on. I just want to make sure it's worth everybody's while too.
mhm.
I wish I could move my computer back. I feel like it's so close to me, but I only have so much room on my desk. It's like I just push everything right off the end.
Then we can see you, so it's fine. This is a good group, Karen.
Yeah,
There's
it
a
is.
lot of people.
Okay, once things slow down just a little bit here, getting everybody will get going on starting up here. It may go a little later than 10. I just want to be sure we have enough time to get through everything, but and hopefully my dog will be quiet. I am expecting a package from the mail and the door is kind of open and not the door, but my office door is, but I may have to quick get up and close that. Well, it's 9:02. Seems like things have kind of slowed down with the folks coming in. I'm really happy to see that everybody's here. We've got a nice group of people. Thank you for coming. I'm gonna move something here and see if I can, yeah. I want to see you all. Tim, wow. I don't know why I only have 6 people here on my screen. I know there's more than that here. Rearrange everybody here. There we go. Well,
Well, if Karen, as people are doing introductions, if you stop sharing, their faces will be bigger and you have more people that will show up on the screen if you want to do that.
I've got the 2 screens going here, so I think I'm okay with this. I don't like to do too much just because I never know if it'll pop back into place. Um, so I think I'll just leave it as it is, and hopefully we'll be able to just move from person to person here. And if y'all would, I know it never seems to go really smoothly when we all have to pick another person, but let's start doing that. Let's just try. So I'm going to just start out to say welcome and thank you for being here to the East Central Regional Transportation Coordinating Council Advisory Board meeting. So what I'd like to do this morning is do a little intro because we do have a large group. We're going to have to keep it short and sweet, but it's important that we all know who each other is, and kind of maybe a question to ponder and answer as you're doing your intro is, what is your interest in transportation? And what needs are you seeing that aren't being fulfilled either by yourself or for yourself or others? Kind of just can give us a reason why you're interested, and also whether or not you would be interested in being involved in a focus group for our Empowering Small Minnesota Communities program. So, and this is being recorded, so I'll be able to go back and take a look and write notes and such. So, like I said, I'm Karen Onan. I work at the ECRTCC and work with Michelle Thomas. So obviously I'm interested in transportation. This is what I do. And so I'm going to move it on to Michelle.
Good morning. Thanks again for joining us this morning. This is a great group of people. I work at the ECRDC and with the Transportation Coordinating Council. Nicole, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Nicole Klosner and I'm at the ECRDC as well. I'm the Regional Development and Grant Specialist. I'm working with the climate and energy stuff. So I'm seeing a lot of need out there for the electric vehicles and also chargers for them. And if you did do a focus group, yes, I would like to do that because I am working on the small town grants as well for our energy efficiency stuff. Do you want me to call on somebody?
Yep.
Okay, on my screen, I see Tammy Celine. So, yeah.
Okay, hi, yes, I'm Tammy Seelan, and I'm from TriCap Volunteer Driver Program. And I see a lot of need in people who live in rural areas that don't get funding sources to help them with the rides that we provide, and try to work on getting everyone transportation if they need it. And I'm here with Barbara from TriCap as well.
Good morning, I'm Barbara Willard. I am the Director of Public Transportation, and I ditto Tammy. We see a lot of need where we're currently not providing service.
And we'll call on Jackson next.
You're muted, Jackson. Can't hear you. Can anybody else hear him? No. Ah. That's funny.
Hey, Karen, this is Tim. If anybody had the same issue I did, I couldn't unmute for some reason until I pressed OK for the recording in case anybody running into that issue. In the upper, when it says this is being recorded, you have to press OK before you can unmute.
Oh, good point. I never knew that. Did you get that, Jackson? I think he's frozen. Okay, there you go. You have to okay the recording. Ah, shoot. Well, let's why don't you play around with that a little bit, Jackson? We'll just continue on down the row. Once you get in or you think it's working, and you can interrupt, just do that. I'm gonna call on Bonnie.
Hi, Bonnie Buchanan. I'm with Jefferson Bus Lines, and we serve more than 60 rural communities with inner city bus service in Minnesota. And we do make connections in Minneapolis and also in Duluth to more than 2,200 other national, Canadian, and Mexican destinations.
Wonderful to have you here, Bonnie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Natalie, do you want to go next?
Sure, thanks. I'm Natalie Mathewson. I am the Community Development Supervisor with Central Minnesota Council on Aging. And my interest in transportation is a couple. First of all, working with older adults and caregivers, making sure that they have access to the types of transportation they need to get to the services and activities they want to and need to be in. And I work with a lot of like cities and counties and community leaders. And just yesterday I heard, and not in this particular region, I heard from a city administrator that they have individuals in their community that are using their local ambulance to get to medical appointments in St. Cloud because they don't have transportation to cross lines to get from one county to the next. So that's professionally, right, to help people. Personally, I chose a place, our dream home, which is 1 mile outside of some of the transportation services. So as I age, I want to make sure I'm at the table. So yes, I'll be part of the focus group to make sure our work together improves. You want me to call on somebody else?
I'm just going to move right down the line here as long as nobody shifts. I'm fine. Stay where you are. Well, let's go back to Jackson and see if it's working.
Does it work now?
Yay! Yes.
Yay, awesome. Thank you for your patience. And yeah, thanks for inviting me to this meeting. I think it'll be really helpful. I'm Jackson Larson. I'm with DEED, Voc Rehab, and I work with students on transportation training. So I'm just really interested to hear about everything that's going on. I talked to a coworker of mine and she mentioned that, yeah, there is crossing the county lines with different transportation is an issue, just like Natalie had mentioned. And then in the Cambridge area, I know we don't have like Uber or other type of rides. And I mean, the nice thing about Arrowhead transportation is that it's very cost efficient. But yeah, just happy to be here and to learn more. So I will pick on Bob Voss.
Thanks, Jackson. I'm Bob Voss. I'm the executive director here at the East Central Regional Development Commission for 23 years now, I guess. Wow. But yeah, well, you know, we have the 5 counties here, and our stick here is creative solutions to regional problems, and we've worked a lot with MnDOT over the years, and everything from just trying to coordinate the activities of 3 MnDOT districts on, you know, helping prioritize road and bridge projects in our region and transit projects. And this is an area that fits in our wheelhouse, convening groups like this, trying to find creative solutions to regional problems. So welcome everybody, and thank you so much for your participation. So I am going to pick Sarah Triber, who is an alumni employee, but also on our board. Are you there, Sarah?
Yeah, I am. And I knew you were going to pick me. I had my
Yeah.
thing ready to hit on audio. I just knew it was coming. I'm
Yeah.
Sarah Driver, and as Bob Voss mentioned, I'm on their board of directors, the ECRDC, as the Kanabec County representative. I did work at the RDC a long time ago, long time ago. But now I work for the Mille Lacs Corporate Ventures, which is the economic development arm of the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. And I work in the economic development department, and I am currently focused on building affordable housing in the region.
Thanks, Sarah. Well, I'm going to pick on Jessica next.
Good morning, I'm Jessica Peterson with Lighthouse Child and Family Services. And we've had an interest in trying to get our clients to our services here in Mille Lacs County for quite a time, and forged a relationship with Karen and the ECDRC, yeah, I think I said that right, to be partners on that Empowering Small Minnesota Communities grant as well. So we're super excited to get these focus groups together and learn from each other today. So thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. Hey, let's see, Tony.
All right. Good morning, Tony Buttacavoli, Executive Director at Family Pathways. And kind of our three main program areas are food access, domestic violence, sexual assault services, and aging services. And in all three programs, like many, one of the largest barriers for folks is transportation. And so that's why I'm a part of this group, and I like to learn all the pieces happening throughout East Central Minnesota.
Thanks, Tony. Sarah. Kay. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sarah Kay, and I'm with Lakes and Pines. I'm a Thrive coach, and I stumbled upon Karen when I was desperately looking for a ride for one of my customers to a medical appointment. It's just working one-on-one with low-income families and individuals. Transportation is always a barrier, whether it be just to go to the grocery store or to renew a driver's license. If they don't have transportation and it's not considered a med ride, it definitely is a barrier. So I'm interested in learning more about these opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Hey, Marlis.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Marlis Dutton, and I'm here with a couple hats on. So first, I'm County Commissioner in Chisago County for District 3, which is Chisago City and Lindstrom. And I'm also Vice President of Park Manufacturing. And so I've been out of the loop for the last couple of months. So I wanted to get back in and listen in today and kind of find out what the latest and greatest is. My interest today is more employer focused because we are utilizing public transportation in the Cambridge area where Park Manufacturing is located, specifically with Arrowhead, who have been kind of a godsend for some of our employees who do not have transportation and rely on that every day to get to and from their jobs. So that's just, I'm here to find out where we're at, what the updates are, and go from there.
Thank you. I don't see anybody here from Arrowhead. But maybe Sandra will come on. Hi, Sue. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Sue Seamers. I'm with the Office of Transit and Active Transportation. I am the program coordinator for the RTCC and the TCAPS, which is the mobility management. I oversee all the 5310 funding, which is where the RTCC lands. So I'm at the, I guess I'm sitting in today. I'm not sure if Davin is on, but I'm sitting in today because your project manager, Michelle, has left our office. And so in the interim, Davin and I will be working with Karen and Michelle going forward. Thank you.
I did see Davin pop on, but I don't see him.
Great.
I think he was here and I think he left. So maybe he'll come back.
Okay.
Thanks, Sue. Chris, clap.
Good morning. I'm Chris Klopp from Mille Lacs County. I'm the Community Health Services Administrator. We are working with our most recent Community Health Improvement Plan. Transportation came up as one of the #1 reasons why people aren't able to utilize their public services through the county and particularly public health. So transportation has become one of our focuses. So I'm glad to be on this group and hear what's going on. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Hi, Rebecca.
Good morning. Am I the right Rebecca that you're pointing out?
Yep,
Okay.
you.
Good morning, everyone. Rebecca Perotti. I'm a business service coordinator with Central Minnesota Jobs and Training Services. And we are the employment and training provider across 11 counties in Central Minnesota. I focus my work with businesses and partnerships in kind of our little 5-county region here of East Central Minnesota. And when it comes to transportation interests, I mean, we are serving the workforce and businesses. And so from youth and young adults to when people want to retire, we're working with a variety of folks. And so transportation is always a major concern and issue, whether it be for students that we're working with, or young people, but also others. So access to transportation, or, even sometimes the opportunity to access transportation to practice driving to get your own driver's license. So we're definitely interested and always happy to be here at the table. And I was not available during July meeting, but I'm hoping to get more information about the grant so we can try to provide some input into the focus group that you'll be doing for the grant as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Frank.
Hello, good morning. So Frank Dauma with the Humphrey School at the University of Minnesota. I see that we've got a little time at the end where I can talk about sort of how our plans are developing, but I am with the Empowering Small Minnesota Communities project group, and so we'll talk a little bit about the work that we're doing there.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here. And Michael, you just want to do a quick intro?
Hi, Michael Darger, University of Minnesota Extension, and I'm on the team with the Empowering Minnesota Small Communities. And Frank and I are talking about focus group targets and stuff earlier this week. So we're starting to get geared up, and happy to hear so many people's interest from different aspects and angles on this issue.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Let's see, Amanda.
Good morning. My name is Amanda Stevenson. I am the planner or coordinator for the Region 7E Adult Mental Health Initiative. I am here because transportation is a barrier for those suffering from mental illness, but all others as well across the region. So here to provide input and hear what others have to say and get more information about what's going on. Thank you.
Amanda. Thank you. Mo. Mohammed? There you are.
I am. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yep. This is I am the street outreach and youth advocate working for Lakes and Pines, and we work with 7 counties. And as a lot of you mentioned, that it's one of the largest barriers we have with the folks and participants that we work with. And I'm eager to learn, and hopefully we can pass that along, and we can get something going on that we can help our families and individuals in our area.
Thank you. Let me see, where are we at? Jeanette? Jeanette Kester?
Can
There
you
you
hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay. I am the Pine County representative to the commission, ECRDC, and I've been here for a while, but I've joined the ranks of the aging. And I know how difficult transportation is for my friends and people of my age and gender. And so that's how I'm interested in transportation. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeanette.
You're
Hi,
welcome.
Helen. How you doing?
Doing well. You did say Helen, right?
I did.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm Helen. I'm with Timber Trails here in Kanabec County. We have transportation through public transit buses. We have a few volunteer drivers where we still do volunteer driving. And we have Beyond Timber Trails, which is a CMCOA funded transportation for 60 and over outside the area of the bus service. So welcome, everyone.
Yep, thank you. And we'll be talking further about that in just a little bit. Let's see, who haven't I, Alinda.
Good morning. Can you see and hear me?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, Alinda Kramer. I am the CNO over at Fairview Northland Hospital in Princeton. So I'm interested in, medical options as well as non-medical options for our patient population and community, but also, hours of the day, what type of services do we have? Could we get that type of thing? So that's why I'm on the call today, and I can call on Emily Carpenter. She's kind of my partner in crime. So she can go right after.
Thanks, Linda, and good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Emily Carpenter, Community Partnerships Manager with M Health Fairview. And I work specifically with Northland Medical Center, as Linda mentioned, and closely with her. We definitely want to ensure that our patients have reliable transportation to access healthcare when they need it. And then additionally, in my role, I lead our community health needs assessment. And so Karen and others represent our representatives on our local community advisory committee. And we are wrapping up our assessment year this year. And again, probably to no one's surprise, and it's a common theme that we're hearing today, we hear transportation again as a top barrier. And so really excited to be here at the table and continue to learn from all of you and continue to work towards solutions.
Thanks, Emily. I'm going to call on Anne.
Good morning, Ann Walter from the Anoka County Transit Office. We oversee Transit Link service in Anoka County and Northwest Ramsey County. We also have a volunteer program called MedLink. And my goal is to provide outreach to people who are unaware of the services, which potentially might seem like a gap, but some of it has to do with education. And then I would like to be able to work towards having transfer sites on bordering counties that are not in the 7-county metro area. Thank you.
Thanks, Anne. Nikki.
All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Nikki Clandrude, and I'm the Community Benefit and Engagement Manager based out of Cambridge Medical Center, which is a part of Allina Health. And transportation continues to keep coming on the top of our screening list. So at our clinics, we screen our patients for a few different health-related social needs around transportation, access to food, violence, financial needs, and transportation keeps coming to the top. So I'm just here to learn more about what this group is doing and how we can support our patients in getting them to their appointments and their healthcare.
Thanks, Nikki. Glad to have you here. Let's see, Tina Neary.
Hi, good morning. Tina Neary. I'm Transit Project Manager with MnDOT's Office of Transit and Active Transportation. And I work with Kanabec County and Arrowhead Transit. And Karen, I was just going to say, I think Sandra mentioned she wasn't going to be able to join, but she was going to see if Brandon. But you might also want to check if Carol, the new transit manager, who works out of Pine, Kanabec, or Pine, Chisago, and Santee counties, would be able to represent Arrowhead in future meetings.
Oh, yeah, I did get a decline from Brandon. So, yeah, I remember that Sandra said that, but wish we had somebody here from Arrowhead.
But yeah, maybe check if Carol can go to future meetings. So.
Okay, thank you. Monique.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Monique Mendyke. I'm with the AmeriCorps Seniors RSVP Volunteer Program. And sorry, no camera. I was issued a different computer for work and it's used. And I can't get the camera to work. And it popped up a message that said, try a different device. So anywho, it's been one thing after another. Anywho, my interest lies not only with the seniors in the community and transportation issues, but I also often see where volunteers, as they age, often quit volunteering because they no longer drive. So as we all age, I foresee that it's going to become an issue for some of us without, we think it will never happen to us, but it does. So.
Thank you, Monique. Angela.
Hello. I don't know if you could see me or not.
No, can't see you, but we can hear you.
Okay. I'm from Attaboys. My name is Angela Damagala. I'm just a driver here looking to see what the needs are so we could help fill that need in our community. We're just a small driving company with 22 drivers out of Sandstone. And we try to get more of the community covered as much as we can and serve wherever we're needed. So I'm getting information about that today.
Glad to have you here, Angela. Thank you. Tim?
Good morning, everyone. Karen, you have quite the group here today. That's amazing. So kudos to you. I am Tim Schmutzer. I work with Phase Industries, and we support students and adults with disabilities throughout East Central and Southwest Minnesota to help them discover and cultivate their gifts and potential and live their full lives in the community with an emphasis on career development and employment supports. Why, to your question, what brings me to the table? Like from a global standpoint, I think there's very few advents throughout history that have been more consequential than the evolution of transportation and mobility. And I think this group and the other RTCCs and TCAPs have the potential across the years to be the connective tissue to align the systems within our state to strengthen transportation and specifically accessible transportation. So especially the hubs, Karen, super excited about the hubs. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you, Tim. Kathy Bursky.
Sorry, had to find the mute button. Kathy Bursky, Director of Kanabec County Community Health, and in Kanabec County, transportation falls under community health. So what Helen said, and then, yeah, just trying to learn more about needs and if there's anything we can do beyond what we're doing.
Great. Thank you, Kathy. Glad to have you here. Well, Davin, you made it back.
Hello, my name is Davin Simmons. I'm with MnDOT, Office of Transit and Active Transportation. Sue Seamers is my colleague, and I'm here just to learn about more transportation issues in your region.
Wonderful. Glad to have you, Davin. And now that Linnell just popped on, I don't know if she can hear me, but Linnell, do you want to introduce yourself?
Well, good morning. I got here just in time, huh? Hi, I'm Linnell Popusky. I'm the Northwest Regional RTCC person. I do Karen's job up in Northwest Minnesota. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Linnell. Good to have you. Well, did we miss anybody? Sure glad to have you all here. I'm glad that y'all had a chance to talk a little bit. Well, let's move on to the next part of our agenda here, which is to have our service providers give us a little update. So I wonder if I could start with Bonnie. Are you still here? Where'd you
I
go?
am.
Oh, there you are. Okay, good. Would you like to give us a
looking
little
for the right buttons there? Sure. Jefferson bus lines, we're going through what a lot of providers are going through. We continue to have a driver shortage, and that's caused us to change a lot of our schedules and the days of the week that we provide service. And, but we think we're making headway without a doubt. So one of our new services that we're really excited about is based out of Minneapolis, St. Paul, and provides service between the Veterans Hospital in St. Cloud and also in Minneapolis. And what we hope to do with that is to tie it into our schedules, into the rural communities that we serve in Minnesota, so that, someone from Wilmer could make a connection on transit, connect with us, and go to the Minneapolis VA. One of the reasons why this service we feel has some good potential and there's a need is because right now it's really difficult for people to get transportation between the two VAs, and maybe there's a specialty service that they need in Minneapolis, but right now they're in the St. Cloud location. And then also, people that want to go and visit family or friends that are in the VA hospital. So we think there's a potential, and we've started the service. But it's very much in the beginning stages, and I think will require some tweaking and adjustments.
Look forward to talking with you further later today on this. Get more information about it. Does anybody have any questions for Bonnie? Thank you. Much appreciated. Let's move to Helen at Timber Trails. Would you like to give us an update, and maybe Catherine and Kathy would chime in and talk a little too about the Beyond Timber Trails?
Okay, good morning again, everybody. Timber Trails is slugging away. We have been notified that we got the amount in our grant that we expected, and that's good. So now we can settle into some finishing out the budget and getting that going. Ridership is holding its own. It's not pre-COVID yet, but it is holding its own. There's a shift in ridership, very much so. Used to be quite often seniors. Now we see that age shift down a little bit lower into more some folks that are struggling a little bit in other areas. So we had the fair last month, and I would have been after our last meeting. So we had some hot weather, made it rather interesting. Talked to a lot of folks about Beyond Timber Trails, and a lot of interest in it. Unfortunately, we're not seeing that come to fruition yet. However, we have a couple of things that happened here in the last week that make me think we might start to see a turnaround on that. Some more input from family services, not input, but more interest in family services and some of the people that they provide service to, accessing Beyond Timber Trails. So we got a glimmer of hope there. We're moving forward with succession planning. Kathy will be becoming the transit director after next spring. And so we're starting to combine our roles. Not that I would take hers, but she is starting to take more and more of mine a little bit, and we'll see that happen more so that there's a really smooth transition next March. Kathy, do you have anything you wanted to add?
Not really, just I guess I'll just ask for some grace as we enter into the change, because I am getting a little help on the public health side, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to handle what there is. We'll be looking and divvying up some duties to the operations supervisor and me, and I know that Helen has so many years of experience, but she's also very organized and has detailed notes. So hoping everything will run smoothly.
Okay.
I have a question. Helen, with your budget now solidified, do you anticipate any of your routes changing?
No, we don't. We are currently looking in depth at, so one of the big issues that we're aware of is the need for transportation to and from dialysis on the days that we're closed. So we're looking at how we might serve that particular little niche right now, but our basic routes, we have no plans to change it. There is no expansion dollars. So we're going to be what we are, with a little bit of fine tuning and maybe a little bit more to do with that holiday service for essential medical stuff.
Okay, thanks.
Helen, were you able to secure an extension on that Title III grant for Beyond Timber Trails? Or did you get another grant, or how long will that be running?
I'm gonna turn that one to Kathy.
I've submitted a grant to do it next year again, but it's a scaled down just based on the slow start. So just, yes, hoping to get that funding again, but probably won't know. I'm thinking the timeline is November that we will find out.
Okay, I was going to say, and with Natalie's help, maybe we could move into possibly helping you with some promotional things to, with a grant from maybe Live Well at Home or something like that. We did not get the AARP grant that we asked for advertising and promoting Beyond Timber Trails, but we'll see what we can do possibly to help you with that moving forward once we know a little more. Okay. Tammy, would you like to give us a little update?
Sorry, I'm just writing all these notes down. So yeah, so our volunteer driver program still just chugging along. We had a couple drivers that, well, one took a full-time job and one just was older and retired. So, but then we're able to replace those with a couple new ones. Yeah, I think we're up to like about 40 signed on drivers right now and about 32 that are active. We have some that come and go, you know, for different commitments. Still, I'm really working on my new project I'm trying to work on is getting self-pay rides subsidized. We used to do around just 1 or 2 self-pay rides a month. We're doing around 20 to 30 a month now. But they're all rides that they pay for. They pay the 89 cents per mile from our driver's home. And so if we don't have a driver that's really close to where they live, the cost then of course goes up. And we have people who are unable to pay the 89 cents per mile. It just adds up too much. And so what I'd like to do is have a way that we can help subsidize that ride by either just paying for the whole thing or just paying for part of it if they can afford part of it. Just so that everyone who calls in for a ride would be able to get one. Everything else is just kind of coming along. We're still getting our funding sources. We're getting a lot of rides through our funding sources. The more rides that we do complete and don't have to turn back, we always put them on a driver. Every once in a while we have something happen, a driver might get sick or something like that, but otherwise the drivers are very reliable. They show up when they're supposed to. We don't have a lot of problems with, you know, my driver never showed up, I don't have a ride, which we do hear sometimes from other ride sources that, you know, they'll book the ride and they'll have it, but they just don't show up to do the ride. So we're getting some of the people who request us because they haven't had that problem with us. So our rides are just building by just having our drivers, our nice, reliable drivers get to their, get them to get to their appointments on time. Otherwise, everything else is pretty much going the same.
How are things going with recruiting volunteers in Mille Lacs County?
We just got one that way. We've had some, we just picked up somebody from Malacca, I believe. But I don't, you know, we have so many people that call us that are up by like Sauk Center. I don't know what the deal is up there. We get a lot of calls for there. We're still really trying to do that area. I've gone there. We have a newspaper ad going. I'm going to try to come up with some different avenues. I go up there. I try to put flyers up, the hang tags, you know, just like, you know, putting down the information so they realize, you know, I try to put that at the top, that this generous mileage reimbursement. So, because it seemed like when we started off with, you know, looking for volunteer drivers, I think people just don't even read any farther because it's like, okay, how much money is this going to cost me in gas and everything? So I think just how we changed up our advertising a little bit has helped. But we've been maintaining our rides up that way. So if we don't have a driver close by, our funding sources are pretty good about letting us have deadhead miles. So we can pull a driver from a little ways away and so the person can still get to their ride. Their driver just comes from a little farther out.
Okay.
You said Sauk Center, but that's not in Mille Lacs County? Did
No,
you
I just
mean?
meant that's where we end up getting, that seems like when I put the
Okay.
advertising out, this seems like we get every
Oh.
other place and it's just like, okay, come on.
Oh.
So yeah, it's like, and it's great. We take drivers from anywhere, but always like, that's the first thing when I find out that someone called in, it's like, okay, what area are they from? Cause yeah, so we really need Mille Lacs County. We really need up by Little Falls. So we have a couple areas where I'm always excited if we get someone who does, hits from one of those areas. And I'll even reach out. I call, it's like, just make sure we don't let them slide through, call with our pitch of, you can just take one day or because I usually once we get someone to try it, if we can just get them to try a ride, I haven't had anybody just quit. I've had people then say, I'll do one day or I'll do 2 days a month or whatever. And they usually increase. They've never had anybody just quit and say, no, this isn't for me. So as if I can just get someone to hit, I just do my best to get them.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Does anybody else have any questions?
Is Barbara still on?
She had to step out for a minute. So, and I know we were talking about it. We were kind of going over our notes and they don't have a whole lot of, everything's just pretty staying status. So she didn't really have any updates. If anybody has any questions, I could write them down though. And then when she steps back in, she could jump on, but I don't think there's really any changes to anything they're doing.
Okay.
You put it in the chat as well. And Michael has a question.
Oh yeah, so our rides, so right now our volunteers, we 100%. Well, I shouldn't say that. We do put some of our clients on the bus. And so if we have a client who is on one of our TRICAP bus routes, they go on the bus. Otherwise, all the rest of them are done by a volunteer. We would like to work on getting a paid person that could use one of our vans to do some of our rides. We don't have that worked out yet. So at the moment, it's either the bus or 100% by volunteers.
And the volunteers 100% pay the cost of that driving, or they get reimbursement for mileage?
Yep, they get reimbursed their mileage. They get the federal rate and they are reimbursed from their home. And so that's why I was saying if we pull a driver from a little ways out, they're still getting paid all their miles. So it's from their home to the client to the appointment and back. And so it doesn't cost, it's cost them anything out of their pocket that way. They do get other like little perks, like they get $4.50 a startup fee for any day they drive. And then we also have some meal reimbursement and a couple of our funding sources, even after the first hour, will pay a little bit of wait time to the drivers so that they get a little something for, if it's a 4-hour wait or something, they get a little something for that. It's not much, it's $4 a half an hour, so $8 an hour, but hey, it's better than nothing. And the drivers appreciate it.
Thanks, Tammy. Let's see.
Karen, since Arrowhead, no one from Arrowhead is here, do you want me to just give a little recap from our meeting yesterday?
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Arrowhead came and had a meeting in Isanti County with the local administration there, and when they took over for Heartland, they were leaving their routes and all of the everything the same for a year. That was the plan, and then they had a little bit of turnover, so now they are anticipating some route changes. They're going to look at moving the routes from Isani and Chisago County that used to be Heartland, now are Arrowhead, and they'll be transitioning them into an Arrowhead type efficiency and route schedule and how they do the rest of their service in the other counties that they serve. So they are planning to do that by the end of the year. And so they're really, in the next quarter, they'll be really scrutinizing how routes are run, the efficiency, where they go, who they serve, and so on. So Isani County is on high alert to make sure that people who may be affected by that change have a voice, and alternatives will be made. So just wanted to let people know that by the end of the year, the routes in Isani and Chisago both will be changing a little bit.
Michelle, it's Natalie. Haven't they been having meetings, like community meetings in Isanti County off and on the last few months? I think I've seen it on Facebook where they
Yeah.
have been having get-togethers and stuff
They
too.
have, yep, a little bit. And they said yesterday that they didn't realize how big the issue and changes were going to be. And so they had initially said that people would see changes as of September 1st. No changes have been made yet because it was a bigger issue and bigger transition than they originally thought. A bunch of their staff are going to be actually riding the buses and the routes, and they're going to do a lot of research in the next quarter before they make those changes. So, but they just wanted to make sure that people knew changes will happen. Marlis, did you have a question too?
Not a question, but just a comment. So as an employer that was relying on Arrowhead and going through that whole Heartland Arrowhead transition, we felt the bumps in the road that they were going through. And as a county commissioner, I was getting so many emails and calls with complaints from seniors that were relying on that. And I can honestly say, I've had conversation with them, direct dispatch and everything, trying to figure this out. I can honestly say in the last 6+ months, they've been fabulous. I haven't had a single complaint in months, and our staff is dependent and happy, and they've come a long ways with making the improvements. So when you said they're going to start making changes, it kind of made me a concern again, because we'll be watching specifically for those changes to make sure that service stays the way it is. I think the dust is settled. I hate to see it get rattled up again. So that's my only comment.
Yeah, and they did say they appreciate communication from you to them, so feel free to reach out to them. They also have new leadership that I think has made some of that last 6 months a little bit smoother. So yeah, but they said make sure that you feel comfortable reaching back out to them. They're always happy to have a conversation.
All right, thank you. So yeah, if you could relay the message back that we have definitely seen the improvements.
Happily.
Also wanted to mention that they did say that they are keeping their website and social media up to date. And so any of the changes that are being made, you'll be able to find and share with others that you know who are looking for more information about Arrowhead. So they're trying to do more with social media just because it's easier to update it. So taking a look at their website periodically would probably be a good idea. Let's see. Let me see. Angela, do you want to make any kind of comments about what's going on or any updates or future outlooks on Attaboy Taxi at all? Or am I putting you on the spot and you're not comfortable?
No, I just wanted to comment too about the taxi service. We still try to do as much taxi as we can, and there are certain drivers that will always, fill their wait time with a taxi if they can do it. And I just noticed in Cambridge the other day, I went down and I was at the Family Pathways waiting for my passenger. So I had a lady trying to schedule a pickup there and had an issue. So I just took her with a taxi instead and gave her a $5 ride that she was very happy with. And she says we can, set up base there anytime. And we do have a driver that waits in Cambridge or that lives in Cambridge and isn't as busy and willing to do that. So we kind of tried to pull back a little on the taxi because it was inconsistent with our drivers and they didn't like that. So if the event is really gonna, come to fruition where we can make that happen, I'd love to see that, get into a regular thing again. And I talked to Chad at Attaboys there, the owner, and he's kind of on board, but just weighing the options on how to do that again. So, and otherwise, we still tried, getting our area expanded. Oh, sorry, my dogs. getting the area expanded too, so we can hire drivers out in like up in Virginia. There's a lot of calls coming in for trips up there. So there was one driver that lives up on 169 by Onamia that we're trying to pull in. He's a little bit interested, but we're looking at the funding, how we reimburse, and we started doing an hourly rate instead of a mileage rate for the drivers. So a lot of them like that because it's a flat hourly rate for the wait time for everything. And they can really see that being a lot more fruitful for them to work for that hourly rate versus just the mileage. So that's the things we're working on lately.
Angela, this is Tammy. I would like to talk to you about that, how you're doing that for an hourly rate, because I was under the impression or told that we can't do an hourly rate, but I would be really interested to see how you guys are doing that.
You know, they just gave the drivers the option of doing it, and the ones that decided to do it, we kind of let them be the pilot for it. And then after 3 months of it, then they let them choose that hourly rate. And it leaves a lot more for our payroll department to try to figure out what to pay them.
Yeah, and it might be because we do funded rides, so part of our contracts or for counties, or we do for Blue and Medica. So, what type of rides do you do? Like, what are your clients? Are they paying for them or?
No, they're all they're either Medica Blue Ride, there's South Country Health Alliance, then there's it's the same payers that, you know, everybody would get rides
And
from.
they're still using their own car, they're just taking the hourly rate versus.
It's still the taxi cars. We still use our fleet vehicles. So we're 1099 contracted employees. So we don't have like, we're not paid directly. Like when I worked for Arrowhead Transit, we had to use our own vehicle, of course, and then we would have to, you know, take the reimbursement rate, the federal reimbursement rate. So I think it's different because we're 1099 contracted employees through them, and we're considered NEMT, non-emergency medical transport. So it's not, we're a private company. We're not a nonprofit at all.
Oh,
so we can,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That status makes a difference, that's for sure. Anybody else? I think we've got everybody who's a service provider who has made a comment or had a chance to talk. So I think I'd like to maybe, because of time has really flown by here, I'll just give a couple updates about what's going on with the ECRTCC. Basically, you know, the outreach events that we've been doing. We've done some Operation Community Connects, and of course, we did the county fair in Kanabec County, had our information out at some other county fairs, sharing information and resources to folks at all of these events. We will be at the St. Louis County Health and Human Services Conference in Duluth in October. Lots of little things or big things that we're doing. Let's see, we have a upcoming Share a Ride volunteer driver transportation meeting coming up that we want to alert you all to. It's on September 30th from 2 to 3:30 at the ECRDC meeting room. And we're going to be talking about transportation. We are kind of hosting it for a person who came to us and wanted to start a program. And so it is kind of his meeting. So I don't know, Michelle, do you want to clarify anything about what Mark is trying to do? He's trying to do kind of a volunteer driver program because he has issues and he's seeing a possibility of sharing rides.
Yeah, that's basically it. He's an older adult that's retired and is having some health issues and can currently drive, but sees the need that as he goes to medical appointments and such, he may need to have a ride from someone else. And he's really interested in kind of creating a network that I'll give you a ride when you need it, and if you would do the same for me when I need it, and kind of connecting people. That's basically what he's talking about. So we'll see. It's the first conversation meeting where the public is invited, and so there might be other solutions that come up, and we're just kind of excited to have people talk about it and see who's interested in doing what.
He's going around to like Seven County Senior Federation, Lakes and Pines. I mean, he's traveling around Kanabec County. I don't know if it's that specifically, but that's where he lives, and it has to do with medical appointment where he cannot drive home. So that's where it all kind of spurred from. But so anyway, you'll see those flyers around. Like I said, it's September 30th from 2 to 3:30 in person at the ECRDC meeting room. So anybody here is welcome to participate if you'd like to attend. I don't think we'll be doing a Zoom version of it at all. I think it's probably going to be all just an in-person meeting. We do need RSVPs because we have to make sure we have enough room. And then uh, the Empowering Small Minnesota Communities. Why don't we move into that a little bit? And I would like to let Frank and Michael talk about that and give you a little bit of a chance to give an update.
Yeah, so we'll be pretty brief about this. We just are really starting to get into the details of how to proceed. For those who don't know much or anything about this project, the Empowering Small Minnesota Communities program is one that is being run out of the University of Minnesota here, where University of Minnesota researchers are paired with community entities such as East Central Minnesota here, and to address issues that where we might make a difference. And in particular, the opportunity here is that we've got me, who is a transportation policy researcher, along with Michael, who is with Extension. And then we also have a transit planning expert from the engineering school on our team. And we are just looking to see if we can help understand and potentially recommend some paths forward for addressing some of the transportation gaps, which a number of examples were articulated at the beginning today, which was really interesting for us to hear. The way that Michael and I are planning to proceed, and be providing some additional detail about this to Karen and Michelle shortly, is we'd like to set up possibly as many as 6 focus groups, looking at on the one hand kind of the more specialized situations, non-emergency medical and basic other non-transit type trips. Hear from what are the needs, what are the current experiences of people who use those services. We'd also like to do a group in Kanabec and another group in Mille Lacs County that gets us to hear from people who are just more typical transit users, not any specific audiences, but people who like to use the services of the providers that are largely represented here today. And then we also want to just have a group that is kind of similar to this group, maybe not the transit providers, but the organizations that are working to try and get their clients transportation so they can get to their services. And then possibly a group of just providers. After we've had a chance to hear from these others, it'll give us a chance to get some understanding of kind of what are the capabilities, what are the operational issues, and those sorts of things. So we're looking to try to do those as soon as we can. While Michael and I have been in Minnesota for as long as either of us wants to remember, we also know that we don't want to try and schedule too many groups for us to come up when there's a risk of a snowstorm or other inclement weather. So we're going to try to get these going as quickly as we can. We do need to get our questions finalized and approved through some university regulatory procedures, as well as get things actually on calendars and invitations out. So there'll be a fair amount of logistics before we actually conduct the groups. But we are rolling forward with that, and so hopefully before the end of this calendar year, you all will have had a chance to at least hear from us once or twice as we're collecting some of this data. Michael, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Sure. We want to get people who, like you said, Frank, who like to use these services, but we also want to get the people who don't use them for whatever reason. And these are the people that I'm not sure who in the room. It's like we want to get the kind of the folks that we might expect to be willing to come, and there's some logistics involved with that. You usually want some food, and you usually want some kind of a little token of appreciation, like a gift card or something. But there's people who use the transit services presumably, and then there's people who don't use it, and then there's people who are kind of in the middle. We ideally get some of each of those populations, and not just the people who lean most into the conversation, if you know what I'm saying. And again, that's speaking kind of in the ideal, because you can't always get people to engage. And I think Karen and Michelle, Jessica were suggesting that some of the people said they're not interested in going to focus groups, some of the people they talk to at the county fairs. So I get it. So we're trying to figure out how to get as many voices included, because this is subjective, qualitative research, as possible. But in the end, we need to get some people in these rooms, and we will listen to them carefully and report back out, like Frank said.
We got a huge segment of population out there that is, I'm so glad the bus is here. I see it all over. I don't need it yet.
Yeah. If anybody in this room here is interested in being a part of the focus group, would you just put your intro, just say, I'm interested in the chat, because then I can hang on to that and get in touch with you, keep you posted as to when the meetings will be. I think that would be really helpful. I appreciate it. Any questions for Michael or Frank? We're really excited about this. This is moving us forward on a project that we've been trying to do for quite a long time, and it's moving us ahead in the right way. Not jumping in head first, we're doing it right. And we really appreciate the opportunity to be able to do this. It's going to have a strong foundation. Thank you. Sue or Davin, would either one of you like to give us any kind of a little update as to what's happening over in MnDOT or OTAT?
I will defer to Sue, as I have been on FMLA for the last 8 weeks up until 2 weeks ago. So if she's a little bit more up to date than me, I'll let her.
Okay. Well, Karen and Michelle, I'm not sure, but I think in my introduction, I did indicate to your committee that your project manager has left MnDOT. And so in the interim, Davin will be your project manager going forward. I will be assisting Davin in anything that, he has questions about. That is basically status quo for now. I don't, unless you or your committee members have questions for us, there really isn't any updates other than that. Tom Godfrey is on FMLA right now. He will be back in a couple of weeks. So MCOTA has been not meeting. But other than that, that's really, there's nothing going on that's earth shaking or new, if you will, other than Davin will be going forward your project manager.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Davin or Sue? Thank you. I guess, I at this point, we're way over the 10 o'clock, and I don't know if y'all feel comfortable staying for a while longer, but is there anything anybody would like to be any kind of discussion like that we could have right now that you'd like to bring up, any questions or anything that is, really boggling your mind that you want to bring up because you've got this group of people here that are willing to talk about transportation? It's sort of a opportunity. We had our roundtable at the beginning, so that kind of takes care of that. But if anybody has anything now that you'd like to bring up, now would be the time to do that. Sounds like something else I've heard before, maybe a few times. Weddings. Anyway.
Karen Marlis has her hand up.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm just wondering, one of the topics that I recall that was being talked about several months ago was trying to create what I'll call transportation hubs for individuals who need to cross over county lines.
Yep.
And I was just wondering if there's any progress or update on that.
Well, that's when we got this Empowering Small Minnesota Communities grant. It isn't like we got handed money. It's for doing research on that idea. So what we're trying to come up with is answer the question, what is the need and where is the need? Are we seeing it? We're gathering the data that is needed in order to make the case for putting these hubs into place. And so, like I said, we're trying to do this in the right way so that, when we go to Arrowhead and we say, we really need to have a hub put in this place because these are the numbers that we're seeing. And these are the people who are seeing the issue and the times and the days or whatever. We have that information because we've been told that they don't want to, it's difficult to make the changes without the complete data. So that's where we're at with that. Once the way we feel about it is once we gather this data and have it in hand, then we will be moving forward with another grant opportunity called Moving Greater Minnesota Forward that Elliot McFadden has to put in to do a pilot program with it. So this is we are working, this is our main focus are these hubs. And so, but we're taking it one step at a time. Ann Larkin was on and she still is, she's with Anoka County. They are interested in working on this with us as well, because they could possibly come up into Isanti County and pick up people in Isanti County and take them down into the Twin Cities. We're also having a discussion later on today with Bonnie Buchanan to see if Jefferson lines can possibly help us with getting people over the county lines and going from, say, I don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing this out here, Bonnie, because, we haven't talked about this yet, but I'm anxious to do so. It may be somehow getting from Pine County to St. Cloud. I mean, that whole transfer area is not there right now. So, or that whole transportation area isn't there right now. So this is huge for us. And Marlis, I really am excited for your, I know you've been interested in this for a long time, and so are we. So we're all on the same page here.
All right, thank you for that update. I completely understand the need for the data to gather that. So perhaps the U of M extension partner can help with some of that now.
Yep.
Thanks.
Anybody else have any thoughts on any or questions or anything else? Otherwise, I can let you all go. I think this has been a good meeting, but I just don't want to leave anybody hanging with anything that they wanted to talk about. Okay. Well, our next meeting will be coming up on November 14th. Seems like it's gonna be cold by then. It's gonna be probably snow. So, but you'll be hearing back from us about the focus groups, and we'll be talking more to Frank and Michael about that and putting together those dates. And we really, really do appreciate your interest in what we're doing, and we're very available to have one-on-one meetings with anybody if you want to as well. So I thank you so much for meeting with us today, and I'll let you go. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.
Thanks, Karen. Michelle.